Hey everyone, welcome into Dom Time. It's our weekly roundup show when we try to bring in two great people with a lot of different interests and a lot of different connection, usually to the media, and talk about everything that's going on. Summertime is in the news, of course. Egypt we've talked about. We're talking with Robert Strauss, who's a contributor to publications like Jersey Man Magazine, New York Times, among others, has written for Sports Illustrated. And Andy Hachadurian. Andy's the editor of the Daily Local News in Westchester. Now, Westchester, even though I think it's about 52 to 55 miles away from Philadelphia where I live, I'm there a lot because there's a lot of action that goes on, a lot of things of interest to our listeners. And Westchester is a quintessential, one of the big in the area, I'd say, college town.
Absolutely.
In which Westchester University kind of dwarfs the town there. So that must mean the libraries are crowded, right? And there's not a lot of drinking and partying going on there.
Well, I'm not sure.
What's it like to cover a quintessential party town?
I mean, Westchester University is probably one of the largest state universities.
Yeah.
We have anywhere from 15, 16,000 students, and it's right smack in the middle, right of our borough. It's 3 minutes from my office, and it's also surrounded by probably some of the best places to eat and have some nice cool summer cocktails and the like. And it's really a hopping, happening, just vibrant little borough, and it's amazing. With that comes issues. We've had some out of control parties. When the Phillies won the World Series, we had some minor rioting. I mean, these involved.
I like that editorial.
Minor
rioting. Yeah.
But you know, this we've gone at it with the university. I mean, we think that they should be good citizens and they need to maybe police their part of the town a little bit better. But they're also under different budget constraints, just like everybody else.
Now, there's a pay for the drink tax there. I'm routinely against all these things. In Philadelphia, we have it supporting the schools and all. So people are drinking, and for the very problem, the pay for the drink tax there would be to get more police to stop them from this activity, which gives us more tax dollars.
Westchester Borough, I mean, it may be a small place, but there's a lot of people, and you take into account the university, and there's just not enough municipal police. And you're talking about a university police force of maybe a half a dozen to a dozen officers, and honestly, they're not. I'm not sure that it's their business to be downtown. Their business is to be on campus. So. The issues downtown, it's the job of the borough police, and it's just a bottom line. They don't have enough police.
Now,
so
one of the big issues we've been talking about, in fact, we're going to talk about in a future show, is this immigration bill, so-called comprehensive, coming through. And you cover what I think is one of the epicenters of this, as far as I know, in mushroom country.
Sure.
I mean, is that really where illegal laborers will be? Is it mainly mushrooms still?
It is still.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
And we
whereabouts in Chester County? Kenneth Square?
It's Kenneth Square. It's all the southern end of our county, near the Maryland border, and it's been a continuation for years of migrant workers. Not just mushroom places though. There are other, it's a huge county with landscaping. I mean, it's any sort of line of work along, in that field. So we have a lot of organizations in southern Chester County.
Has the paper editorialized about the Senate bill versus the House or something?
Not so much.
No.
I mean, we actually have a Spanish blog on our website now. So I mean, we try to reach out to. It's a huge population, and it's not all illegal immigrants as people might think. It's just hardworking people who are. They do have language issues. I mean, they attend the high schools. We hear about that all the time.
Let's talk Trayvon Martin, guys. I don't know how much Robert Strauss you've been following it. I have, and the legal experts I brought on say to me, I'm surprised at this, that they think to a person that George Zimmerman will not be convicted of second-degree murder, and almost to a person, I thought there might be a compromise of manslaughter in there. And have you ever written about it, ever covered anything like any of the issues involved here?
Well, long ago, I sort of decided I liked features in sports better, but especially at the Daily News when we were a smaller staff than even they have now, you just covered anything. And but I was interested in this mostly because it seems that there's two things. There's the trial, and then there's what everybody thinks about the issue.
And that's where the problem comes in there.
And I was just reading this morning that, not that I've been watching it, but I was reading this morning there's been very little mention of race in the testimony.
Mm-hmm.
The judge has asked there not to be, and I guess people have been clinging to it. So this trial, like we're all sitting there talking about the black guy and the Hispanic guy and whatever else we're talking about, but in the trial, they're just talking about the facts. I said,
Yeah, well, let me ask you, do you bill Zimmerman as Hispanic in the Westchester Daily Local?
I'm not sure what you mean.
I mean, I've seen some publications because it's critical to this trial. You're right that shouldn't be the case. What does the paper say when you say George Zimmerman? Do you call him Hispanic?
No.
You don't?
No, we
You don't call him anything.
We again, something like that, we rely on the AP, and they do try to play it straight. I mean, they get into the issue of obviously, the racist
Well, I would say
issue,
playing it
but
straight to me, I would call him Hispanic. That's what he
Well,
arguably is, and that's what he holds himself out to
I
be.
think most of the stories will just say George Zimmerman, the however old he is, person accused of.
But Trayvon Martin is black youth.
They do get into that.
Yeah.
But they don't necessarily describe Mr. Zimmerman that
See,
way.
I would hope the paper might take that. Just a letter editorial recommendation, or the AP if you're watching. Spell hero right, heroes right, and give Mr. Zimmerman his due credit. All right, coming up, more of our weekly roundup here on Dom Time. I don't want to put you on the spot.